Let's talk about it.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That was tough to watch. Well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out on YouTube. I'm no longer on Twitter Spaces during postgame. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen each and every day, free and available on all platforms. You can follow me on Twitter at Clancy's Corner. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. Pick 2 to 5 players, and if they score more or less than their PrizePicks projections, you can win up to 10 times your money on your entry. First-time users can get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's PrizePicks.com. Promo code Locked On. Yeah. Cardinals lose 19-9 against a team who gave up 39 points to the New Orleans Saints, missing key starters on offense last week. I don't know where to start. There are some positives that came out of this game, and it was on the defensive side of the ball. DeAndre Hopkins comes back next week. That's a positive, not necessarily correlated to today specifically, but the offense looked terrible. Kyler Murray looked bad. The play calling was bad. There was no momentum. There was no anything. And I don't know why we're still having to have this conversation through 6 weeks. The Cardinals scored their first points of the first half of the first quarter today. Cool. First and goal inside the 5. Ended up kicking a field goal. I don't want to have these conversations. I don't like having these conversations. Is it Armageddon? Probably not. But what I said all week and what I said at the halftime show was almost to almost good and almost to almost really bad are razor thin differences between the two. And after today, you can't have any sort of real confidence in Kliff Kingsbury, starting to question Kyler Murray a little bit. You can't have confidence in the defense. The defense gave up a long touchdown drive, yes. After they held this foundation meal piece together with duct tape pretty much for the whole season so far. They haven't been perfect, but they haven't been bad. The offense hasn't been good. And the offense was supposed to be the strength of this team. Why is Kliff Kingsbury here if the offense isn't the strength of the Arizona Cardinals? I've been asking it since mid-2020. I'm here to kind of commiserate. I'm here to verbally hug you. But this is a tough loss. This is a tough loss. And the problem is, it doesn't seem like there's an easy fix. It doesn't seem like, okay, well, if this happens, then things should start to shift. They're DeAndre Hopkins away from humming on offense. After watching today, I don't know if I can believe that. And now Hollywood Brown gets rolled up on with a couple minutes left in the game. Who knows how long he's going to be out for? So there is a world in which exists that we may never see Hollywood Brown and DeAndre Hopkins on the field at the same time. I know that I had a moratorium on negative things about Kliff Kingsbury. I lifted that pretty quickly into today because I can do it. There are, as of right now, unfortunately, this sentence has to be spewed out, 0 redeeming qualities about the offense after today. Offensive line looked bad. Rodney Hudson, they missed severely. They missed deeply. Justin Pugh getting bounced out early didn't help things. There was no momentum on the offensive side of the ball. They had one really good drive early on, just like the Chiefs game. They had one really good drive early on. It's like, oh, cool. The script looked different. Kyler Murray had a huge chunk run, and you thought they'd get in the end zone. They ran a wide receiver screen on 3rd and goal, and then they ended up settling for a field goal. The only offensive points they scored all game. Once again, against the team who gave up 39 points to the New Orleans Saints last week. There are so many things that need to be discussed this week. This is a brutal game. It was a brutal game. Alex Clancy, Locked on Cardinals, your team every day. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out live with me. You know, I see a lot of Fire Kliff stuff. I see a lot of Kyler isn't the guy stuff. If you've been following for a long time, thank you. First off, you also know that I'm more err on the side of Kyler Murray than the other, than Kliff Kingsbury, because one's been a winner his whole life and one hasn't. Kyler Murray seems to have plateaued a little bit, and that plateau is higher than other quarterbacks for sure. But Kliff Kingsbury, in my opinion, is not doing his job that he was brought in to do, which is make Kyler Murray an elite quarterback. And we're starting to see that wound fester more and more every game where the offense just doesn't have it. The offense just doesn't have it. And today, the offense didn't have it anywhere close to what we thought with the moves made this offseason the output of the Arizona Cardinals would be. I'll break it down more. I'll give some positives. The defense needs to be lauded, even in a losing effort for the second week in a row. I'll talk about it more. Locked on Cardinals, your team every day. Next, as we roll on here on our postcast, that's what we call it here. Pretty fancy name on the Locked On Podcast Network. I get to talk about these guys first, though. Okay? Getting older is like your body changes as you get older, okay? Unless you're a bodybuilder, once you hit like 30, your metabolism just changes. Maybe you're getting a little bit of a dad bod, all right? Feeling a little less like your old self. You don't have time to work out, but you want the energy and body you once had. Nugenix is something that I found that has helped revive me, okay? Allows me to work out like I used to. You know, Nugenix Total T contains man-boosting key ingredients like testofen. It has been validated in 5 clinical studies shown to boost free testosterone levels in men. Okay, if you want more energy to counter the negative physical effects of aging, Nugenix Total T testosterone booster with testofen will help you turn back the clock, re-energize your workouts, get you better results at the gym, and help you look and feel like the man you really want to be. Because Nugenix Total T boosts free testosterone that the aging process robs, you'll feel stronger, leaner, and more energy and drive and more passion too. Your partner will notice the difference also. While every product professes quality, many other products use generic ingredients that are often far less than clinical grade. With Nugenix Total T, you get the same clinical potency levels used in the trials, and Nugenix formulation is backed by 10 years of science and research. Now get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T when you text NFL to 231231. Text now and get a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, their most powerful fat incinerator ever, with key ingredients to help you get back in shape fast. Absolutely free. Text NFL to 231231. Text NFL to 231231. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at nugenix.com/terms. And also, while we're on this healthy kick, okay, get our mind off of what we just watched, something healthy. Our next partner is a product I literally use every day. And I started taking AG1 from Athletic Greens because, as I mentioned, after you turn 30 or 35, things start to change, man. I don't work out every day, and I don't eat that well, and I don't want to make a smoothie every morning. So AG1 is 1 scoop, water, shake, 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 drink. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens, if I can talk, to help you start your day right. The special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging, all the things. It's lifestyle friendly, okay? Keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, whatever, gluten-free, doesn't matter. AG1's got you covered. Contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anything, while still tasting good. And it's less than your cold brew habit once a day. It's less than $3 a day. All right. AG1's got everything that you need. Scoop, water, shake, drink. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NFL Network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/NFL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Cardinals lose 19-9. 3 offensive points. No points scored after the 10-minute and 40-second mark in the first quarter. With the amount of firepower that was added and retained this season on the offensive side of the ball, it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And with contract extensions for Steve Keim, Kliff Kingsbury, and Kyler Murray going into effect at the end of this season, what does that mean? I'll talk about that a lot more this week. The contracts and what it means. Short week, New Orleans Saints coming into town for Thursday Night Football. I'll be doing my crossover Thursday with Ross Jackson on Wednesday, I believe, from Locked On Saints, one of my good buddies on the Locked On Podcast Network. Saints must be licking their chops, man. After what we watched, 19-9, let's break down the numbers a little bit. You know, it was like, I like to look at the numbers and be like, okay, if I didn't know the total, if I didn't know the final, would I think the Cardinals would have won? And this one's close. I mean, they have more total yards, more total plays, more total passing yards, more total rushing yards. The penalties were about the same, and they were on the field for longer. It seems like you'd think the Cardinals would win. Now, they were 4 for 16 on 3rd down, 1 for 5 on 4th down. You miss a field goal, or you miss an extra point. You go for it on 4th down multiple times when you could have kicked field goals, but you don't trust Matt Amendola, even though they brought in Matt Amendola instead of Rodrigo Blankenship and other kickers. Kyler Murray didn't play great. Kyler Murray was sacked 5 times, I believe. He may have gotten sacked another one on the last drive. He got sacked 6 times for 51 yards, rushed for 100. You know, it's just like, this is like 2019 Cardinals. And it seems clunky because they're supposed to be further along than this. And that's why I get so harsh on, go so hard on Kliff, because it's his job to keep this team moving forward, especially the offense. The offense is severely regressed this year. Adding Hollywood Brown. DeAndre Hopkins comes back next week. Hollywood Brown gets hurt. Probably not going to see him on the field at the same time on Thursday. So now the wide receiver core got older, and they had a whole offseason to do so many things, and they did. Traded for Hollywood Brown. Cool. It's worked. I have never had a problem with trading for Hollywood Brown. It was more, well, that first-round pick could have been an offensive lineman, could have been a pass rusher, could have been a corner, could have been things the Cardinals desperately needed. Instead, they traded for Hollywood Brown. Fine, it's worked out. But just like in Cincinnati, it doesn't matter if Hollywood Brown's on the field if you can't get on the ball because you don't have time. I'm surprised, even for the standards of what I've held Kliff Kingsbury to, which have been less than others because of expectation, what we saw today was a new low. And I think the reason why is I think everybody kind of saw after the Philly game that it would start to get better. Like, the offense looked good against Philly. even though they only scored 17 points, which is a whole other conversation. They haven't scored more than 21 points in regulation all year. Or they scored 26. I lied. I'm sorry. They scored 26 against a bad Carolina team. Where do we go from here? I don't like uncertainty. I don't like it. Last year was good. Okay, cool. Start 7-0. Fantastic. Bingo, bango, bongo. Oh, gets worse, but they still won enough games to make the playoffs. And then we know what happened last year. But now, 2-4, short week, tough opponent coming on the road, winning. They've been a winning franchise for, a long time before. I mean, they were a bad franchise before that, but they've been a winning franchise as of late. Just what do we take away from here, from today, that we can parlay into Thursday night? There are some positives. And they need to be discussed because they may be relied upon more than we thought they were going to need to be relied upon when the season started. And that is a scary, scary proposition, but it's one that we need to discuss right away. You saw what happened in the game. This was a bad performance by the offense. The special teams had blocked a punt, or I guess it wasn't blocked a punt. Caused a fumble by the punter, recovered it in the end zone. But we saw what happened. There needs to be some positivity that's discussed because this week is going to be a tough week of podcasts. Not tough because I don't like doing this. Tough because there's going to be some real conversations that I've been having in the background for 3 years now. They're going to need to continue to be discussed under more of a spotlight and not just nuanced throughout the week. Locked On Cardinals, your team every day. We roll on next. First, PrizePicks. If you would have picked the over-under on Kyler Murray, or the more or less PrizePick projection on Kyler Murray's passing touchdowns, you probably would have lost. Rushing yards, you probably would have won. All of this, PrizePicks.com and the PrizePicks app, it makes daily fantasy easy. Okay? It makes it easy. So all you do is you pick 2 to 5 players if they will score more or less in their PrizePicks projections, and you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. You don't compete against other players. It's just you versus the projections available. So, for the Cardinals game, if Kyler Murray's over, more or less, PrizePick projection was 30 rushing yards, you can say more or less. Benjamin's rushing more or less. You make one bet, you can do 5 different things, up to 5 different things, and you can win up to 10 times your money. PrizePicks offer projection on any sport that you watch, not just NFL. NBA, which starts on Tuesday, Major League Baseball, NHL, PGA, college football, men's college basketball, women's college basketball, WNBA. You understand what I'm talking about here. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's super easy, safe and fast withdrawals, and currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePicks app or go to PrizePicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can get a 100% deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. You deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to add promo code Locked On at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. Cardinals lose 19-9 in another embarrassing performance by the offense. There's a couple things that I've said for the last 2 years or so. The defense is the strength and or more stable side of this team. And if the offense isn't the strength, why is Kliff Kingsbury here? I've stood by those. I've gotten not so great responses for it, but I've had this. And not pat myself on the back. I wish I was wrong. I do. A lot more. It's a lot better to talk about positive things all the time, and nitpick. You can get at me for nitpicking with the Cardinals win. But if the offense isn't strength of this organization, why is Kliff Kingsbury here? If a team isn't built properly, why is Steve Keim still here? Just rational questions that I've been asking for 2 years that nobody has a good answer for. Oh, it's Kyler Murray's fault. Okay, that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion. Positives that came out of today. Benjamin looked fine. Game script was weird, but Eno Benjamin looked fine. He had some good runs. He had a great catch, dipsy doodle, get out of a tackle, first down. Like, I don't think he's a bona fide RB1, but he's definitely an RB2. Definitely. And I stand corrected. Maybe should have got a little bit more run. But James Conner had such a great year last year that, there was no room for Eno. Zaven Collins, his first 2 sacks as an NFL player, looked good. Pass rush looked good. They had 6 sacks coming into today. Had 5 sacks today. J.J. Watt got 1. Marcus Golden got 1. Cam Thomas got 1. They look good. Pass rush looked good. Byron Murphy looked good. All of the damage was done on the ground. None of it was done through the air. DK Metcalf had 1 catch late. I don't know how many he ended up with, but he had 1 catch of substance. Like, yeah, DK Metcalf 2 for 34. Tyler Lockett 2 for 17. Marco Wilson had a breakup on Tyler Lockett on a deep ball. Looked good. Like Buda Baker had some big hits. Jalen Thompson saved the touchdown from Kenneth Walker after 3 or 4 missed tackles by the Cardinals. So the defense gave up 19 points. For defense, so say week 1, and this isn't like, I'm going to make my point look stronger by negating week 1. Week 1, when none of the starters played, Zaven Collins played a little bit in the preseason. Marco Wilson played a little bit in the preseason. Nobody else played. Give up a 44 burger to Patrick Mahomes. That's not the first time that's happened. That's more believable than the Cardinals only putting up 3 offensive points against this bad Seattle Seahawks defense. So since then, the Cardinals haven't given up more than 23 points in a game. If you told me this Cardinals defense, since week 2, has only given up 23 or less points per game. They played the Rams, played the Eagles, played the Raiders, and they played this Seattle Seahawks team whose offense was on fire. I'd say the Cardinals were 5-1. I don't think that's crazy. Because the offense was what was bolstered this offseason, not the defense. The offense was what was bolstered, not the defense. And the defense is stealing the show. The defense is getting the gold ribbon. The defense is the reason why the Cardinals are even 2-4. And that's something that it's not an opinion. Watch the games. The defense has done an exceptional job, especially grading on the curve that they've added little to no talent this offseason. Exceptional job. Vance Joseph and the player, Zaven Collins is really coming into his own in his second year. Isaiah Simmons' jury's still out. Zach Allen is going to get a contract extension. Byron Murphy, he's not the biggest surprise, but he was the biggest question mark. Like, if Byron Murphy can do this defense could be this. He's a CB1. He's a CB1. And it's fantastic to see. Because the Cardinals are going to need more Arizona Cardinals. Vance Joseph is elevating the talent that he has. The talent is getting better on, they're both doing their part. And the offense has been atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. If the Arizona Cardinals offense is not the strength of this team, why is Kliff Kingsbury here? Alex Lanty, Locked on Cardinals.